Hello, hello, hello.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome back to Music Firsthand. I am BeckiJo Neill.
I'm Luis Flandes.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We are really excited to get started here,
I'm
but
pumped.
first we got to show y'all what we're drinking here.
Oh,
Good old-fashioned fourth tap. Long Walk Grapefruit IPA continues to be my favorite. Thank you so much for sponsoring us. You guys are amazing.
I got one that is not on the sponsored list.
Well,
so
you're fired.
I'm just going to hold it there.
Next
Not going to
time.
drink that for a while.
Tonight we have a really awesome guest. Would you like to introduce him, Luis?
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Jeff Plankenhorn, you guys.
Woo.
Thank you. It's very nice to be here. I am very happy to be here.
Yay, thanks for coming.
There's a bird nesting quietly on the back porch. Her song is a night of rebirth. She sings soft and serene to her young one, and she teaches heaven on earth. The sweet smell of harvest leaves, red foxes play for mirth, magnolia buds in the springtime. They all can be heaven on earth. Winter fields, snowy silence, the warmth of the evening, summer wind, the sound of the waves through pebbles at your feet, the choice to love this world we live in. Take a walk with your love through the woodlands. You will see what this life is truly worth. There's no need to wait for untold futures, when today you can have heaven on earth. If only for a moment, heaven on earth. Thanks,
Nice.
everybody.
That was gorgeous. Wow, thank you so much. That was beautiful. You have a new album coming out?
Stop, I do.
Yes, on May 4th.
It is coming out on May 4th.
You want to talk a little bit about that, maybe?
Tell us.
Boy, do
Tell
I
us.
ever.
Yay!
It's like a secret that I want to
Oh yeah, that song is from it. The album is called Sleeping Dogs, which is, I'm told in Texas, is a metaphor.
A metaphor.
Yeah, it's a metaphor. And it's basically coming out May 4th, and pretty exciting. I've got a lot more press for this record than I've ever had for anything else. I was a sideman for many years. Like the last 2 years, I pretty much started my solo career from my last record, which was called SoulSlide. And before that, I played with all sorts of people. But then when I started getting a little bit of radio play with my last album, it was like, oh, okay, well, maybe I'll give this a try. And I had the brilliant idea of starting a solo career at 43. So,
I mean,
but it's working. So, you know.
It's not called Old Dogs.
It's called Sleeping Dogs. That's right.
Ha-ha.
That's right. So the new album is a bit of a departure. The last record was all about this weird guitar that I designed, and it's sort of like a steel guitar, but you stand up and you play it and stuff like that. The last album was all about that. This album is all about the songs, and on the album I'm playing all sorts of instruments. I'm playing piano, and I'm playing pedal steel, I'm playing upright bass, I'm playing guitars and singing, and I wrote all the songs and co-wrote all the songs. So
Side manning? Does that like...
side personing.
Oh,
Is that like,
maybe.
like a hired gun sort of thing?
That's
or,
exactly what it is. Very much a hired gun kind of thing, and there are rules.
Oh.
Yeah, like the first rule is like if you're having a question as to whether or not you're a sideman. This is a Danny Barnes thing. Danny Barnes is a really great banjo player, and he says if you're having a question as to whether or not you're a sideman and you're in a new venue, walk out to the front of the venue, look up at the marquee. Is your name on the marquee? No. Then you are a sideman.
Aha.
And then you start right there. That's basically where you start. And then from there on, he explains, how to be in the van, how to, not solo all over somebody's lyrics, all those kind of things. Rules for being a sideman.
Yeah, you're not supposed to be like,
check me out, check what lick I can do.
You're
that
just
sort
the
of
guy
thing.
in the back in the
Yeah,
shadows.
well, I mean, you're there to
Almost.
make the other person sound better, really, more than anything.
I like the side person, but like that, I feel like that for some reason when you said sideman, that sounded so much like meaner than like I feel like hype man. You're like the non
well, sure.
poofy pants hype man. I don't know why. I said
If
poofy
only we
pants.
had poofy pants.
Poofy pants.
I don't know, maybe.
I'm gonna make you poofy pants, and we're gonna get you back in the show. We're gonna get hype man poofy pants.
Could have done
No
that.
more
Coulda done
side
that
manning.
for sure.
You go
Coulda
from
done that.
side man to poofy pants.
Yeah.
That's how that works. I don't know why that's so
That's
fun
great.
to say.
Yeah.
Sorry. You have like a really big musician community here in Austin, but you grew up here? You were born in Ohio, right?
Yeah, I was born in Ohio. I grew up in a little bit in Ohio and a little bit in Michigan, and that's kind of where I cut my teeth on playing and learning music. So I never thought I'd be playing, in Texas. If you would have told me when I was a kid, I never would have thought that. But what happened was I was in Nashville and I was playing primarily bluegrass music back when they were doing "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?" That movie, "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?"
Oh, we know.
And during that, I got asked by a guy named Ray Wiley Hubbard. He said, "Hey, come to Texas and you can play any type of music. You can play whatever you want." And I drove to his house with $100 and a couple guitars in a Geo Prism. Do you guys remember what a Geo
It's a sexy
Prism
vehicle,
was?
y'all.
Yeah, yeah.
I
And
don't know
and that's where I moved in.
exact type, but I'm imagining.
You get the
it.
idea.
Yeah.
Econo box, basically.
Electric roller skate.
Birth control, some people might call it. At that point in my life, I'm sure
Savage.
that's what it was.
Savage.
But it was really, really nice to have somebody who would just basically everybody that I've ever played with over the years, and I'd be happy to name drop a bunch because I'm not above that.
Do it.
But they
Name
would all
drop.
be 1 degree of separation from me and Ray Wiley. Like he introduced me to all sorts of people that I played with over the years, and it was kind of a big serendipitous thing because I guess that's the word. On the new album, there's a duet with me and Ray Wiley, and it's really, really cool that we did it. It's sort of our islands in the stream, but well, I can't do it here because that would be like there's no dolly.
Oh yeah, no.
And so
that's
no,
not fair.
it's a really gritty number that's called Tooth and Nail, and it's great. And then I also have Patty Griffin on the new record too, so I'm pretty proud of that. That doesn't suck.
That
Nice.
doesn't suck. As far as collaborating with other Austin musicians, do you think that collaborating with Austin musicians is different than any other city, like compared to Nashville? Or
Sometimes we think it is. It does happen for sure in the other cities that I've been. I will say that the musical community in Austin has differences in that people are very, very supportive of each other. I'm not saying that doesn't happen in Nashville or L.A. or New York. Because I've lived in some of those places too. But I love the sense of community in Austin as far as people collaborating. Like there's a person that I was talking to Oso about before we got up here, and he was like, "Oh, you should get Jamie Harris in here sometime to do this show." And she's a perfect example because she's a brilliant songwriter. And she's on her way. But any night of the week, if she's not playing her own gig, she's singing background vocals for somebody, or she's co-writing with somebody,
Right.
or she's just in the audience.
right?
Like I used to just follow her Instagram to see who was playing around town. 'Cause
She's the dude
like,
512.
she's
yeah.
kind of like that, And then I don't anymore because she plays all the time and she's getting gigs all around the country. But that kind of thing is definitely something not unique to Austin, but we're good at it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're definitely good at it.
Right. I think to be a working artist in any faction, you kind of have to have a hand in all of it. So if you're going to be a musician, you've got to, learn how to work maybe your sound so you can help your friends with that, or you can help, if you roadie or do anything, you can help. You help your friends book all the time. Like Oso Diablo's in the house tonight, and he was here like a week ago. Like, shout out.
Yeah.
It was a good show. Check that out on YouTube if you have some time. But that's just kind of how the community of Austin, I found, works. I think that's why people stay here. Like,
no doubt.
What did you call it earlier? I overheard you call Austin.
Oh, it's called. Well, there's a. I don't know. Sometimes I have a problem saying this, but we call it the Velvet Noose. Mm-hmm. And the reason it's called the Velvet Noose is because you can make a living here and never leave. And it can be so comfortable if you just get into this habit of playing these clubs, because the audiences are so. This is definitely something about Austin that's not like other cities. The audiences here come to lots and lots and lots of show, and it's part of the culture. Mm-hmm. And so I will see somebody, and I played in Dripping Springs on Saturday, and then on Sunday I'll see him at a gig in Austin, right. And then I'll see him 2 days later at another gig, and I'm just like, wow, they're putting shoes on my feet and food in my belly, and
it's a big circle. Everybody's
is.
helping each other.
Yeah.
Aww.
It sounds a little touchy-feely when you put it
a little
like
weepy.
That, but yeah.
We went from poofy pants to weeping. That was a transition.
Let's meet in the middle between poofy pants and me.
We're trying. Okay. Your lap style guitar, the metal one you built. What is that? The one you
It's
called?
Not really metal. I could talk about it if you want.
Please.
A little. This right here is a Weisenborn, and this is basically an instrument with a German name that's primarily known for Hawaiian music, which is kind of odd. But somebody who made it famous is maybe Ben Harper, or Jerry Douglas plays often, not always, on Weisenborn, plays it beautifully. But I picked it because when I'm doing acoustic gigs, it works really well for me because of the tuning. Yeah. Basically, when I moved to town, I used to play the dobro, which was the dobro is the one that has the hubcap in it. You know what I'm talking about?
Okay,
See, as soon as I say that, people go,
yeah,
the one with the hubcap. Well, everybody used to always ask me to play the dobro because it works so well with songwriters. It's really vocal, and you can kind of fit in between words and not overplay. And so people would always ask me to play dobro in rock bands, and it sounded awful. It would just you would feed back in the monitors, and it would make this awful noise, and I couldn't stand it. So I went to a luthier, which is a fancy name for a guitar builder, and I said, I want to make this thing, and it's a dobro body, and it's a lap steel neck just put down in the body so I can stand up and play, because I play lap style with this. And then, but I want electric guitar parts, so it won't feed back in these monitors, and so I can play with a bunch of pedals and play like a regular guitar player. And so a luthier named Tony Nobles out of Wimberley made my first one. And then I started, it started changing the songs that I wrote. Like the last song that I wrote was written for that. And it's great because I can go from really pretty, beautiful pedal steel to just rock out Robert Randolph just by going like that. And it's really cool.
Touch of a button.
Yeah, one kick on a thing. And what else is really, really cool about it is a bunch of other guitar players and steel players have used it. Lloyd Maines used it on a couple of records last year, and a young man from Blue October has one, and a guy who plays for Wade Bowen has one, and they all sound different on this instrument that was affectionately named after me, and that's this thing that I came up with. It's really cool.
Plank, right?
Yeah, it's called the plank.
It
gets a little awkward after. Well, no, it gets a little awkward because it starts being like that creepy thing when somebody talks in the third person about themselves. You know what I mean? It's like
Jeff the Plank Plankenhorn's here.
Or like Plank doesn't like that kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's like, ugh. Stop.
Plank does not. The Plank does not comply.
Plank does not want to talk.
This whole time I thought there was just two types of guitar.
Oh, there's a lot more.
I'm learning so much being on this show.
We need a knowledge is power. Boom. With the inventor of the plank. That's super exciting. Do you want to play us another song, maybe?
I'd be happy to.
Yeah.
I'll play this song right now that Oso asked if I might play. Aww. And here we go.
Special request.
This one's not off my new album. It's off my last album. Oh, I didn't do that. Ben, you love me now,
Buttons.
don't you? Now it's got an intro. Louisiana is my home. Drink my whiskey all alone. Temptation got me on the run. Mama's son don't hurt no one. Don't want no trouble. Don't want no trouble. But trouble find me. Trouble find me. When nothing going right and no hope is left inside, I should be praying to the Lord. Don't want to bother her tonight, and I don't want no trouble. Trouble find me. Trouble find me. Well, I wish I could move on. Redemption too far gone. Now I'm left. An empty bottle and an aching head. You don't ever wanna be where I've been or will be. 'Cause when I'm down, and I'm always down, it seems trouble find me. I can't take it. There's a knock, knock, knocking on my door. Nothing's on the other side, but still I'm always open wide. Yeah, and I don't want no trouble. Trouble find me. Trouble find me. Trouble find me. Trouble find me. Oh, thanks, everybody.
All right. It's a bit of an...
Hey, wait a second.
Yeah, it's a little awkward, but I did get a new jacket. And that...
I knew something changed.
Yeah. No, actually, this is our temporary co-host, Graham. Welcome, Graham, everybody.
Hello, Graham.
And I think you have some questions for Jeff tonight. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, talking to your microphone, sweetie. Showbiz. Here we go.
Are you a composer?
Sure.
That's a good question.
Other than yourself, who's your favorite composer?
Oh, jeez. Well,
Better
first of
question.
all, I would never say myself. That would be really
Plank
awkward.
is your favorite
Yeah, the Plank is my favorite composer. Exactly. I would have to say I would have to say Stevie Wonder. I'm a big Stevie Wonder fan. When I was your age, I started listening to stuff like that, and it really got me into wanting to play music.
Do you know Stevie Wonder?
No.
Yeah. You will.
Things to Google. All right, you got any more?
Yeah, a lot more.
A lot more.
Ooh.
What's your favorite song that you made?
Favorite song that I made? Wow. You know, it's tough to pick a favorite because your songs are kind of like children. Like you watch them grow, and then you let them out into the world, and then you see what happens to them, and then they change, and you get pleasantly surprised with what happens. But there's one song that's on my new album. There's a couple of songs on my new album I'm really, really super proud of, you know, and I'm anxious to see what happens when they go
Those
out
are the
into the
songs
world.
that graduated from college.
Yeah. Yeah, I would, or
Yes.
maybe like secondary kind of thing, finishing
At
school.
the very least,
maybe.
you know.
Yeah.
They learned to tie their shoes. That's what they got.
Juniors.
Juniors. They
Yeah,
got to juniors.
very, very, yeah, very. Yeah.
Yeah, one more question.
What else you got? What else you got? I'll
These are
answer
so
them all,
good.
buddy.
Bring them on. Keep them coming,
What do you
Graham.
wish someone had told you when you were 8 years old?
Oh, when I was 8. Yeah, what do I wish? You're having more fun now than you probably will ever have. You know? I mean, basically, like, you know, we when you're young, like, I remember when I was 10, I was reading this book. And I'll never forget this. I was reading this book, and it was a book of short stories, and there was this story about this kid, and he did something. He was 10 years old, too, in the story, and he did something that I thought was really childish that I thought no 10-year-old would ever do. And I told myself, when I grow up, I'm going to remember that 10-year-olds are not that childish and that 10-year-olds are really, really smart. And so as I got older, I try really hard to remember that when I'm talking to somebody your age, that they're smarter than I think they am and that they're more adult than I think they are.
That is so profound. You got profundity in that answer. That's what you got. That's incredible.
Yeah, mostly have fun because you can right now.
This one my dad helped me with.
Okay.
Ooh.
What is it like to be kind of famous?
Interesting. The dad's over there going, it was all him. It was all him. Fame is fleeting. And it's you know the word fleeting, meaning like it kind of like goes away, you know, it doesn't last forever. And I had another person that I really, really, really admired, and he had a song that was called "I Don't Want to Be Rich and Famous, Just Well Off and Well Known." And I personally would prefer that. Like, rich is kind of tough. Like, if you're rich and famous, you can't go to the grocery store because people will just bug you, and it'll be really, really difficult. But if on my level, I can go to the grocery store with my wife, and like we can do whatever we want. Nobody's gonna, you know, totally. So I kind of like being. I wouldn't even say kind of famous. I would just say I like where I'm at. You know.
I would probably talk to you at the grocery store.
Would you? Oh, okay, cool. Grocery store is one of my favorite places, so
I
it
love
really
good
is.
produce.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
that when you
I never
walk in-
understand exactly how they design it.
Right. It doesn't make
You
any
know,
sense.
it's always like IKEA. They're like trying to get you to buy this thing, so they make you go through here.
Yeah, how can I make them hit every single
Yeah.
aisle kind of
Yeah,
thing?
exactly.
Rude. Like, can someone explain to me why crushed canned tomatoes and tomato sauce are on two different aisles?
Yeah, right?
What? Sorry, that was my personal hang-up with HEB.
I'm with you on that.
Graham?
Next
This
question.
one's really funny.
Ooh.
Okay.
Have you ever been chased around by screaming girls? If so, how many?
Oh, no. Oh, no. Right now, if my wife is watching, she's going, oh, brother. Absolutely not chased by screaming girls ever. Never chased by screaming girls.
Like speedily walked?
No, I've never heard that. Yeah. Now I've been in some like big rock bands where I might have been playing like a stadium or something, and I was a side guy for somebody. And in those shows, there were like screaming girls there, but they had no idea who I was. They were just kind of screaming randomly at whoever was on stage. So I can't take
and you
I
can't,
can't
you
take any
can't
credit
that
for
one.
it.
You can't take that one home because she doesn't even know. She's probably not there for the band in general. She's there because her friend wants to go, and she's just there screaming for a T-shirt.
They're screaming, but not. It has nothing to do with me,
Yeah. No. To that. It
right?
has nothing to
Now
do with
I
them.
have
They have
some-
got thrown.
Now I have some regular questions.
Okay. Well, I'm a regular guy.
When were you born?
I was born in a little place called I was born in 1973. He's like, whoa, that's old.
19? It starts for 19.
You were like,
No, my mom was born in 1972.
I'm so
okay.
sure she's so happy.
you, by the
told
way,
everybody?
just remember you're not supposed to out anyone in your family for that.
Yeah, both of them.
Right? You've
Both
officially
parents
done both.
tossed.
Yeah.
He is shameless up in here. Okay, that's true.
Yeah.
How old are you?
Same question. Yeah, I just turned 45. Just
you
turned
just
45.
had a birthday, right?
I just had a birthday.
Happy
I'm
birthday.
Sprightly 45 years old.
Happy belated birthday.
Thank you, my
There
friend.
we go. See, he was proper.
Very kind of you.
I don't think I have any more
That's it?
questions.
Oh, that's it?
I was ready for so many more.
Yeah, do you have any jokes for us, Graham?
No, but I do have a riddle.
Ooh, a riddle? I love puzzles.
In fact, I have 2.
It's like it's my birthday.
Yeah, right?
Okay, bring it on.
And if you want 3.
Oh, I might really. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. So let's say you're going out to a party. When you come back, Bob is dead. He's lying on the floor. There's a table with 3 legs, a broken bowl, and water. He was lying on the water. How did Bob die?
Well, that
Is this a
escalated
Mensa
quickly.
quiz
Yeah.
thing, or did you get this in a Mensa quiz?
Because he couldn't do 45 out of 1973. So, wait, it only has 3 legs? Where's the other leg? Oh, wait, is there supposed to be 3 legs on this table?
Yeah.
Why am I focusing on this?
No. There are supposed to be 4 legs.
There's supposed to be 4.
Yeah,
broken
broken bowl.
And he's underwater?
No, he's kind of like on water-ish.
On water.
Like some spilled water?
Yeah.
I feel like the worst Nancy Drew ever.
No kidding, right? As the tree
How? How? Okay. Is everybody going to be mad if I ask me to tell? Because I'm mad at myself. Let's go. What is the answer?
Bob was a fish.
Oh, damn it. Ah! You know what? What Barb was at the party? Who takes their fish to a party? Well, fine. That's fine. We take dogs to bars in Austin. Fish to party can't be that bad. You got one more riddle for me?
2 more if you want.
Bring it on. I like consistency.
Okay. So there is a house, a round house. There's a child, a mom, and a dad.
Okay.
The mom and the dad went on a honeymoon or something. And when they came back, the child was dead. There were 3 people in the room. The maid, the butler, and the clown. The maid said I was going to the bathroom. The butler said I was taking a nap. And the clown said I was washing the corners. Who killed the child?
Well, it's obviously the
always the
clown.
clown.
It's
It's
always
always
the clown. And you said it was a round house. I got that one. Vindicated from that. Round house. Cleaning the corners. What of a crappy alibi is that?
Anyway.
I was taking a bite. Okay, Graham, that's actually all the time we have for our amazingly adorable redheaded little boy section. Thanks for joining me. I think I'm in.
Graham, we'll hang out in the grocery store, okay?
I might be back next week.
Heyo. He's taking his claim.
Presumptuous.
I know. Would you like
Will
to
I
play?
be back next week?
Ooh. We got Dad's permission. Mom's probably not out. Mom's not going to be in for that one. She's not going to be.
Or maybe the week after.
Oh. Do you want to say, how about 2 more songs with Jeff Plankenhorn? Do you want to say that?
Wait, what?
Do you want to reintroduce him? Give it
This
a Jeff
is-
Plankenhorn.
This is Jeff Plankenhorn.
Yeah.
Well, this is.
Sing a song.
Was it? I think it was Groucho Marx who said never follow children or animals. So I'm in trouble. This is another one from the new album. In fact, both of these are from the new album, and this is a song that was inspired by something that Lin-Manuel Miranda said after at his Tony Awards speech in 2016, I think, after the Pulse nightclub shooting. So, but it's a song about inclusion. Jimmy fell hard for Jenny. Jamie fell in love with Jane. You can't choose with whom you fall. I think it's better that way. Could be a chemical thing, maybe cosmic and such. Try as you might to clearly define, you won't come back with much. Love is love, is love. Love is love, is love. People try to change love. They give conditions and rules. They try to tell you that they know better. They tell you your love ain't cool. Love don't mind your religion. Love don't know about race. Love don't care where you may come from. Love doesn't need to explain. Love is love, is love. Love is love, is love. We aren't born knowing love, have to be taught how to hate, to let go of all your preconceived notions. You only need to relate. Come take a seat at the table, break some bread, make a new friend. In time you'll find forgiveness and kindness is all you ever needed. Love is love, is love, is love. Love is love, is love, is love. Love is love, is love. Love is love, is love. Thank you. I gotta grab a pick. I'm sorry, I didn't get it together. That one with the picks, but we'll still go. And this is the title track. This is the title track to the new album. Thanks so much for having me, guys. Used to worry about everything, what you thought and what you think. Now I know I do what's right. I let the sleeping dogs lie. Every time I fall down, I once again feel the cold ground. Get up, leave it, and I go on trying, and let the sleeping dogs lie. So I let the sleeping dogs lie. So I let the sleeping dogs lie. Once you had me in your claws, never knew what was the cause, but I let go, I ceased to fight, and let the sleeping dogs lie. You say something's behind my back, well, I'm not so very concerned with that. Your problem has never been mine. I let the sleeping dogs lie. So I let the sleeping dogs lie. So I let the sleeping dogs lie. Used to look for someone to blame. That's exactly when I lost the game. No more tears come from my eyes. I let the sleeping dogs lie. I see it clearly coming through the mist. Where to finally be done with this. The illusion of power, it fades with time if you let the sleeping dogs lie. So I let the sleeping dogs lie. Yeah, so I let the sleeping dogs lie. So I let the sleeping dogs lie. So I let the sleeping dogs lie. She has a heart so true and kind, but what I love is her beautiful mind. Oh, them troubles we can leave behind and let the sleeping dogs lie.
Woo!
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
He got me right in the feels, and then in all the dancing. Oh, damn. Got me
I'm
right
back.
in the feels. I know.
I've returned.
We found him.
Thanks for filling in for me for a little bit. I had
know.
to.
The ice cream man was outside, so it was an emergency.
I think that was Chris's way of saying you're easily replaceable.
And by a child.
Thanks,
that's-
Chris. I'm gonna work harder at this. You lit a fire under me now. I'm gonna do this now. Okay.
We have some fan questions. Apparently, Joanne Dedinger just purchased Jeff's CD. That's exciting. So shout out to that lady.
Thanks
Thank
so
you.
much.
Joanne.
Thank you for buying music.
Thank you.
It is a thing
For real.
that people need to be into.
Not just streaming it on
No, I mean, that's cool
YouTube.
too. It's like how people do it, but you know.
No, it's true.
know.
I'm a guilty. I'm bad at that. Brenda, our lovely, lovely lady here at Music First Hand. What is your favorite thing to purchase at the grocery store? She says, I, for one, am a sucker for cheese of all kinds. Amen, girl.
Ooh, man, who doesn't like cheese?
Oh.
I think that my favorite thing to purchase at the grocery store, boy, I love so many things. Food. You
All the
know, of the
foods.
food variety. I think it's Jimmy Dale Gilmore who says, nothing hits the spot when you're hungry like food. I mean, it really depends on the grocery store, too. There's so many things I like. I like a good ginger beer. And
Ooh.
I really, really, really like... I actually do grocery store sushi a lot.
Oh.
I know, isn't that bad?
Oh, Jeff.
I know, it's so bad, but I love it. It's because I miss Japan so much. In Japan, when you go to a store like a corner store, you get these things called rice balls, and I guess they're
Yeah.
starting to do them in the States now, right?
Little triangles that are
They're
filled
the
with fish.
best. It's like seaweed
Yeah.
wrapped around a little rice thing, and then there's like a little dot of like salmon in it, and it's like heaven. And it's just like no wonder these people are all fit.
It's true.
Because that's like a snack. That's what they get at a gas station. But I'm a taco guy. I like everything.
Bring it on. You're an HEB like, give it to
Pretty
me.
much. Yeah.
That's just
You can't stop me.
no. You and Graham could be like a force, just running
could.
through there like, no.
Don't talk to me.
We're gonna do it.
Yeah. He's distracting
No
people at the deli
pictures.
counters with riddles, and he's just raiding the ginger beer from the back. Woo! That's genius. We also someone on the from V Deal on
the
YouTube.
chat.
Can you say this in a voice that you think that V Deal sounds like?
No, I don't want to assume anything. Just
No, not like an accent, but like I feel like he might.
Man, love this song. My favorite on the new album.
That's where I
I'm
would've
not
gone.
Sure which song,
Well, that's a
but
statement, but that's great.
I just like the man. This is my favorite song. I love that. That's so sweet.
Very cool.
Love this song. Oh, you got a fan. V Deal. Shout out. Oh, that's so nice.
so big deal.
Yeah, if you guys want to post some Facebook questions, we are still taking them. So please do if you want to come in. We have a couple of segments that we are reoccurring. We have my mom normally writes in questions once a week because she thinks I'm bad at my job and she likes to make sure that I get good ones in. But it's actually my dad's birthday, so I thought I would take my dad's questions today. Holla, Ben Neill is 75 years old, still kicking. Love you, Dad. So these are they're very similar to my mom's because, well, they're married. That's how people eventually do after 20-something years of marriage. You just become
Basically.
one person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
You're one matching pajama set at that point. That's just it. And then afterwards, Luis has an incredible new segment that Chris has grandfathered to him, so this is going to be pretty cool. All right, are you ready? These are rapid fire, first sort of thing you can think of. There's not very many of them, so
Okay.
just so you know. What would be your last meal? Another food question. I love this.
It's always food, isn't it?
It's always food.
Yeah, I think it'd be sushi.
Grocery store sushi?
No, sushi.
Yeah, sushi.
Yeah, sushi.
There we go. Point one for Griffin.
Anything Japanese, like all Japanese cuisine, makes me very happy.
And they have the cutest containers for them.
They do. They have
Go to the
little
Asian
boxes
market.
and
You
stuff.
will
It's
never find a
It's true.
lunchbox as intricately designed.
Yep.
There's 18 different compartments. It's got 4 different. I'm sorry, I geek out over that. Okay. Are you an outdoor person or an indoor person?
I'm becoming an outdoor. My wife is this is supposed to be rapid fire.
No, please.
Okay, my wife is a horticulturalist and an arborist,
Ooh.
and I was never an outdoor person ever. That first song that I played for you guys called Heaven on Earth has a lot to do with my wife's sort of love of nature and things that are kind of her favorite things in nature. I just kind of strung together in a song. And I never thought I would ever be that guy. But when we're up on Vancouver Island, which is where she's from, we spend a fair amount of time outdoors.
Never
So
thought
I'm
you'd be
kind of a
outdoorsy.
convert. I'm I'm in between.
I feel that. I'm not. I'm in between my bed sheets.
Well,
inside.
it's about to be like greenbelt season and
It is,
everything.
though.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite thing to do.
Yeah, I went on a bike ride the other day, completely out of character, but it was beautiful out.
There you go. Yeah.
It was lovely. Do you have a favorite superhero?
Hancock.
That's a good one. Huh, Ben just got shivers. Oh. Oh.
Well, I'm a you know, let's just say I can relate.
Okay. Nope.
Leave it there.
Do you have any other like geeky fandoms? Like you're really into like Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter.
Oh, you know, man, you know, there's none that I'm into more than others. No, but it's very easy for me to geek out on stuff. I can go there. I can go there. For
Yeah,
sure.
you creative people. They can get
Yeah.
imaginative.
Yeah.
feel
You know, musicians, it's good for us to go and like we're a lot of times we're movie people because our inner dialogue just never ever stops. So we go to a movie and it's like 2 hours of like. So we
Finally.
gotta go to movies, and you know, I'm not just saying this to kind of pander, but the other thing we love is comedy clubs because when we go to a comedy club, no one cares that we're musicians
Yep.
and doesn't know us, doesn't care about anything, and we're just there. You know, not like again, I'm only kind of famous, so it's not like that, but it's totally true.
Now, if you see him in a club, you're gonna have to start screaming
Stop
at
it.
him like a girl. Throw a bunch of pairs of panties.
Everybody, Jeff Plankenhorn is here in
Oh
the
my
audience.
Just hyperventilate, pass out. That's your whole. Do you have a go-to karaoke song?
I really don't karaoke, you know. I really just don't. I may have done it when I was in college a little bit, but that was always with some drinking involved. I had some friends that developed this really cool thing. I have these two guys, and one's name is Colin Stetson, and the other one's name is Stuart Bogey, and they had this thing. They had both moved to San Francisco, and they didn't have any gigs. And so they developed this thing called guerrilla karaoke. And what they did was they would go to a karaoke bar and they would make the other person sing a song they didn't know. And so
That's
they would
awesome.
pick a song because they didn't have gigs and they didn't have a way to express themselves. So they would pick the hardest song that they would think that he would never know and then make them go up and sing it. And it's like, I don't know, I just love that. I wanted to tell you.
Yeah, that's like both equal parts mean and super creative.
And super brilliant at the same time.
He also
you know?
had something to do with like the saw torture techniques. He was in on that. And my favorite one is the last one. Do you have a worst first date experience?
Worst first date. I just wasn't very great at the whole dating thing to begin with. Worst first date experience, though. Oh, yeah. Now come to think of it, I do. I had a first date once where, like, I didn't have any money. And, like, I showed up, and I was just, like, I had asked all of my friends, like, please give me some money. I was a poor musician. I was really, really young, too. And, I had to ask the gal, and it was a first and last.
Ooh.
It was no question a first and last because it was just like, yeah. I'm kind of glad, for a number of reasons.
Right. I mean, if you're all bent out of shape about that, it's not like traditional, but it wouldn't be like,
I'm never calling him again.
Yeah.
It's 1955. Me.
no, it's ridiculous. Like,
A lot of my dates just end up being the first and only date as well.
Is that right?
string
I
of
got no
firsts.
sympathy for you right
Yep,
here.
none at all.
None on this side of the camera screen.
Always a first mate.
Well,
first
I mean,
mate,
God
never a
created
bridesmaid.
guitars so that guys like me could have dates. So pretty much.
The plank coming through with dates. I'm gonna do that now forever. Now I'm so sorry.
That's your wingman.
As long as I'm not saying it, it's fine. I like the name Plank because most people don't want to bother with Plankenhorn because it's too much work, and so they say Plank, and that's fine. And I also like it because in England, Plank means dumbass. And so it's like I got there for my first album's called Plank, and like I got over there and they were like, "Do they really call you that?" And I was like, "Yeah." And so I come to find out, it means like numbskull. And I just thought it was great because it gave me something to talk to the audience about. So I like being Plank. I'm thick-headed. It's an excuse.
It's an excuse. Plank. But then you can be like, but I also invented a really cool form of guitar, and I'm amazing, and I started a career at 43, and I'm still dope. The plank. It's going to be the entire
That's what I'm
last-
going to do next time. Exactly that. Word for word. That's what I'm doing.
And if you come to Esther's, I'm gonna do that and be like, this guy thinks he's just in the audience, just being a musician. The plank's here. Our next segment, Luis, you want to take it away?
Taking it over. It's called "Welcome to the Music Business. You're effed,"
Haha.
and it's just a bunch of.
So it's reality based.
Yes.
Yeah, it's it's a bunch of multiple choice. All right, we're gonna try that again. Multiple choice questions,
Boom.
rapid fire. I'm gonna see if I can read them
see how
better than I
rapid I
can
am.
talk. All right, favorite thing to do at a live show: throw a mic in the air and catch it on stage. A or B, invent your own dance move that may or may not go viral. Or C, stop on one of your songs halfway through and shout "F the police."
C.
Totes. He knew.
All right, merchandise.
If I have to choose. What's that? If I have to choose. I got nothing against the police. I just like iced tea.
I just like I
Early iced tea. No.
Of course. Favorite merchandise: T-shirts, flyers, or a sleeping dog.
A sleeping dog. No question.
All right. Hecklers: A, ignore them. B, confront them. C, hit them in the head with the plank.
Yeah. B, absolutely confront them, and I am good at it. Like I love confronting
yes.
hecklers. I love getting hecklers.
That's what
You
they
know.
want.
Oh yeah. But you can get them to quiet up pretty fast. After you've done it long enough, you can get them pretty easily.
Yeah.
A story.
First one.
I will not tell a story that I did it, but there was a really great guy named Stephen Bruton who passed away a few years ago. And what he would do is he'd be like, "Hey, who was singing or who was heckling? Who was saying something?" And he pointed the guy out in the crowd, and the guy was like, "Hey," and he said, "Hey man, why don't you just like sing along for a second?" The guy started singing, and he stopped him. He goes, "There's your 15 minutes. Now get out." And I love that.
Just set it up.
I
We're
had
friends.
somebody the other
Get
day.
out.
I had somebody the other day that wasn't a heckler, but they were on their phone, and their phone was louder than the band.
No.
And I didn't know, but I said, "Hey," I stopped in between songs, and I was like, "Is it the pinball machine?" And,
Right.
and all the people around him were like trying to listen, and they were like, "No, it's this lady, it's this lady." And I was like, "Oh man, I'm really sorry, I didn't mean to single you out." And I'm thinking, this is awesome, And then she was done, and she left. So
Who has their phone on high vol? That's ridiculous.
All right, next one. Favorite gourmet food while touring: A, ramen noodles. B, SpaghettiOs, or C, leftover cheeseburger from the bouncer?
I'd say ramen. Yeah, I'd go ramen if I had to.
Yeah, you can
I
always
mean,
you can always fancy up ramen.
You can
a
always
little bit.
spice it up with a little sriracha or whatever, you know.
All right, and I like this one. Favorite part of the performance: before the show, during the show, after the show.
During, no question.
Toast.
During. I had a really cool question the other day. Somebody said, "Hey, what's it like, being on stage and what's it like? What's the feeling?" And I think that whether you're in front of a big audience or not, you know that feeling when you're at a show and you really, really, really dig it, and you're feeling this sense of community, and you're feeling like everybody is like really vibing on the music together. That's almost exactly, because I've been on both sides, that's almost exactly what we feel on stage. And I mean, like, it's almost exactly the same feeling when you're on stage that you have when you're in the audience, because it really is like a connection between people. And so, I mean, during, no question.
I like after the show because I'm just a slut for compliments. I'll stick around.
Why else would we
afterwards.
do this?
Yeah, I
I
stick
mean, look,
around.
anybody who doesn't,
Yeah, I stick around the exit and I'm like, hey, everybody. And they're like, good set. And I'm like, thanks,
Oh,
stop.
stop.
Or you like catch them before they leave. Thanks for coming to the show. Say something nice to me now.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll shake your hand. Thank you.
Musicians, though, we're kind of bad at it. Like, what'll happen is somebody will go, man, I really love that song, Trouble Find Me. And I'll be like, you didn't like the other ones?
But what about this one?
Why you didn't like the other stuff?
No
totally.
other opinions?
Yeah, that's it.
All right, I think maybe one more. Favorite fan affection: A, singing along; B, throwing their panties at you; and C, professing their love for you after the show.
Singing along. I hate to be a cheeseball, but like, I really, really like the singing along thing. And like, even if it's bad, I'm totally into it. And I mean, in the past few years, I've tried to write like the Love Is Love song. I've tried to write Sleeping Dogs too, things with simple melodies that people can. I've kind of gotten away from like wanting to have tons and tons of chords and guitar things that we call tendinitis builders. I don't do that as much anymore. And so like when people are singing along, it's they get it.
I feel that. That Love Is Love song is still like, I love it.
Thank you.
We actually do have time for you to do one more song if you want to do it.
Of course I do.
Yay. Okay. All right.
Let me try one then. I did not prepare for this. Here's a good one. I'll do a short one. Oh, wrong. Thank you, Ben. Did you know that your sound man is your unsung hero?
He really is.
They are, because if you
He's
didn't have a good sound person, then you would sound like... Everybody wants to roll the dice. Everybody wants to take a swing. Don't ask me for my advice. I don't know anything. Everybody's got a story to tell. Everybody's got a song to sing. I thought I knew you well, but I don't know anything. Back when I was young, I swore I thought I knew it all. I never stopped to listen, not until I hit the wall. I feel the tall trees bend, I hear the ocean sing. I see the color of the wind and I don't know anything. Young, I swore I thought I knew the score. Lately I've been thinking that I'm not that guy no more. Everybody wants to roll the dice. Everybody wants to take a swing. Don't ask me for my advice. I don't know anything. I don't know anything. I don't know anything.
Give it up for Jeff Plankenhorn, everybody.
Jeff Plankenhorn.
Oh, this was an incredible show. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. I'm going to tell all my friends that they should do this.
It's fun, right? It's weird. It's super cute. We would like to thank you all for coming to the Music Firsthand streaming show of Jeff Plankenhorn. Thank you to Fourth Tap Brewery. Oh, thanks, Osa. It's Osa Diablo, our friend from a couple weeks ago. Don't worry about it. You can check out all those on YouTube.
Yes.
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, all the good stuff, all the socials. We have an Instagram contest, so be sure to check out that online. And our Patreon, so you can come be a supporter for as little as $3 a month. You can help put on this production that we do and get people food and music experience like this at a local level. It's the dopest. I'd like to thank Graham for being my assistant co-host.
great, man.
Air 5. Ben, Chris, Brenda, thank you so much. And my lovely co-host, Luis.
I'm Luis. That's
Love
me.
you. Thank you so much. Thanks again to Jeff Plankenhorn, everybody. Stay tuned to Music Firsthand. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.